Okay, so there's a comment in chat that I'm going to take more seriously. Okay, so the comment says, okay, so I should stop pushing my team to work as a team in silver. Hashtag pressing W, hashtag facepalm, hashtag elo hell. Unironically, yes. Yes.
Hey, doing pretty good.
All right, what's your in-game name? I'm not seeing anybody called Duskman.
It's Larkin.
Larkin. There you are.
There's the Sombra. There's only one Sombra chosen.
Yep. Should have waited a couple more seconds.
So how much rank do you say you play in a season?
Nowadays probably 70, 80 hours maybe.
70, 80 hours. Do you know how? I mean, okay, all right, not too bad. Do you just main Sombra mostly, or is there a particular reason you're playing Sombra here?
I really like Sombra on this map. I think high ground's fun. And with the tanks we had, I was gonna play Ashe originally, but I didn't want to play Ashe behind a ball Zarya.
Okay.
Understandable.
Sure. Understandable. Sure. And so then I guess what kind of like are your competitive goals?
I'd like to hit Master GM.
Okay.
In the first like 12 to 13 seasons that this was out, I was always in Diamond, and I hit like above 3490 3 times, but I never hit Masters. So I've been 10 points away from Masters multiple times.
Sure. And so when you dropped to 2700, was it because you took like a break or something?
Yeah, took a break and then haven't been playing as much. Been busier with work since then.
Sure, understandable. Okay, so you hope to get to Masters someday. I think if we set a goal to get back to Diamond first is good.
Yeah.
And you're playing 70, 80 hours. I don't know how many matches that would be. But if you get a couple hundred matches in each season, that's totally enough. But yeah, if you have any questions before we get started, now would be the time. Otherwise, I think we can get started.
No, just like how would you start with this tank line on this map, I guess.
Sure. So you're playing defense, right? And so there's like this sort of gameplay cycle that Sombra goes through, right? Because her ultimate is so impactful. So she's generally going to be having a translocator in a safe space. She's going to be scouting before, and then she's going to uncloak and shoot things, potentially either A with a dive from like a ball teammate. B, she's going to uncloak, try and hack something for people to follow up, like with a soldier or your ball once again. Or 3, just she's going to uncloak and she's just going to farm ultimate and then get out. Right. So it's like this kind of like simple gameplay cycle that Sombra goes through every single time. And it's basically how you want to be. I mean, it's basically how Sombra is played most optimally. I'm sure you've probably, if you like playing Sombra, you've seen people like Fitzy, etc.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Okay, good, nice. So that's good. So let's go ahead and get into it, and then we can kind of critique your play a little bit more. This is good, kind of scouting. Obviously, standing right in front of them is a little sketchy. You don't want to get shot by Sigma balls, but it's good to kind of figure out. It's good. I really like to see you. So first off, the one thing that you did is good is you uncloaked sort of in like a closed space, right? You didn't uncloak right out in front of them. You uncloaked kind of back there. So like if they want to shoot you, get like take care of you, then they have to like turn, whatever. Obviously, it would have been nice if you saw where the Widow was at before, but like the actual uncloaking position was not too bad, as long as you're ready to get out. So that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know how I didn't hear her going behind me, but
yeah, I mean, like this is a good situation. I like that, like the way you're in. I mean, your ball was doing a little loop-to-loop thing and just fed massively, but yeah, if you're standing here, you're doing the initial scouting, and if you can attack the same thing that your ball is attacking, that's fantastic. But if he does feed, you know, you just got to change your playstyle and look for like an isolated target that you can win a 1v1 with, like a Widowmaker.
Mm-hmm. Translocating. Yeah, so now that you know they have a Widowmaker, it's also sort of the same thing. All right, I'd love to see you like hack that when you're there. Like that's a really good opportunity to get a hack, right? I'm glad that you didn't start. You don't want to be starting off like hacking all the health packs around you, but when you go to one, you do want to be hacking that and then moving forward. Now that you know they have a Widowmaker, you probably want to be dealing with her if you can, because you're one of the people that can kill her. It's sort of like a tracer. So you want to be kind of figuring out where she's at and helping your team, if possible. But let's go ahead, keep going. Yeah, see, if you had hacked that, this guy would be dead. Alright, so far pretty good. Not too bad at all, I don't think. Just a missed hack. Good set up there. Now you see where the Widow is at. Looking, trying to stop the ball is fine.
Oof, close. So I think that one of the things that I'm seeing here is that like you've got a generally good approach to looking for hacks, but when you are getting into duels, I think that one of the things that is going to be a problem is you're losing kind of perspective on where some threats are. So when you're kind of dueling the ball, for example, let's see if we can try to find an example for it. You know, they have two snipers here, so you have to be extremely aware about where those sight lines are so that you can play away from them. And right here, when this ball comes in, I love the, you know, I don't actually know what interrupted you, is like the Sigma ball, but this was going to be a great hack, right? And this is also a great position to decloak because you've zoned out that Widowmaker right there that she can't shoot you. But you walk forward in a straight line into the Widowmaker's straight up line of sight. So this is something going to be a little bit awareness where if you are aware of where the opposing DPS are, where is their Hanzo right now? I actually don't know. Oh, he's dead.
He just got killed.
He just got killed. But when you're kind of aware of them, if you're fighting somebody that's not the DPS, you still have to make sure that they can't kill you or interrupt or interfere with that duel. So this would be a time where I would want to see you kind of like sticking here and trying to shoot the ball. And if he breaks LOS, and opening that angle would cause you to be threatened by the Widowmaker, it's not a risk that we want to see you taking. So here again, he's back to his team. He's got a BAP and Zen. There's no real way that you can force this kill, and trying to farm for EMP is putting you at risk of being shot by the Widowmaker in the head. And then we'll see a second example of this. Or was it earlier?
Yeah, I did notice watching it back that I just jump on top of the cart while Widow was staring at me.
So I want to ask too, like, so like there's like this playstyle, right, where you're kind of stopping the ball, right? That Sombra does that a really good job. What other options do you have for like playstyle on Sombra?
Backline assassin, or yeah, like keeping their snipers down, or
Okay, cool.
managing.
Yeah, so that's
maybe their
good, right?
signal
So
a little bit better.
So I think as you're playing, like Jayne pointed out, some of the kind of positional things that were dangerous for you, that would get punished, can get punished occasionally. But I think overall, right, you did a really good job playing the I'm going to stop ball from doing things Sombra, right? And I think what you need to recognize as a player, right, in the match, right, is you see things, these things unfolding around you, is that your team is losing even though you are stopping the ball. And so for me, like this happens on Tracer all the time. Like if I'm trying to kill the backline and my team is losing, even though I'm killing the backline, it's like, okay, how do I adjust my playstyle now to win the game? So what I would like to see from you is a sort of adjustment in your playstyle now. So like that's what I'm hoping to see in the rest of this VOD here, is like you're adjusting, okay, I'm gonna try and kill maybe the snipers then and see how that works. Because stopping the ball, honestly, if you look at your team, the ball isn't really going to kill anyone except for Soldier. And yeah. So acknowledging the different play styles you have and then utilizing them depending on the situation around you, right? Your team is not dying to the ball. They're dying to everybody else. Yeah. And you built your EMP though pretty quickly, which is good.
Yeah, I usually find myself when there's a ball, just trying to farm ult as fast as possible. Yeah, if that's not the threat, then I should do something else.
And Ball can be a good character to shut down individually with hacks. Like, you don't need EMP to shut down Ball. EMP is going to be really fantastic for people who are playing together, like Rush, Brawl, Bunker, things of that variety. And especially you can kind of do that because if you set up an off angle, you can kind of farm them, and there's not a lot that they can do to poke you out. You can just be an annoying asshole about that. But yeah, so like, there's going to be, you know, I think that Sombra is such a versatile character with so many different playstyles that probably one of the most important skills, other than just getting at least competent on those playstyles, is selecting which one is going to win the fight. So you have kind of you always have the ability on Sombra to just focus on farming, not getting eliminations, and then EMPing. In the same way that a Genji, for example, has options to farm Blade and then win with Nanoblade. Or, you know, as Sombra, you can be looking for assassinations or to follow up with the dive on your Ball, in the same way that Genji can go for assassinations or dive with a Winston. And selecting the right playstyle for what the enemy composition is running, and to a lesser extent what your composition is probably one of the most important decision-making things that you need to do on Sombra.
Just watching it all fall apart below you.
Why?
Well, I had two teammates yelling at me to jump in an EMP, and I'm just standing there going, no, no.
I'm glad that you didn't.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't as well.
Yeah.
Rip the Tracer.
All right.
Okay, so
all right, you'll want to talk about that one, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just some micro mistakes there. I mean, so like going for helping your Tracer kill, I mean, obviously I can't be like aim better, kill that, like, right? There's no like, there's no. What mouse DPI and sensitivity do you use?
I have 800 DPI, and I think it's 7 cents.
Okay, that's reasonable enough. So this is fine. Obviously, you probably shouldn't have thrown your translocator there. You don't also need to cloak
I thought it
here
was
either.
down already for some reason.
Right, so you don't need to cloak here. You just want to maintain a threat to the Doomfist with a hack. Like what you should be doing in this kind of 1v1 is like trying to hack him. If you hack him, he just does nothing. He's just a big fat ult charge machine for you. And he's like, Doomfist hitbox is great for Sombra's gun. So like your goal in like this sort of Doomfist 1v1 is to be playing at a distance, like behind like the Zarya or something, and just holding right click, waiting for him to come in. And then you win.
Ahorita regreso.
One for the EMP, maybe?
Yep.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh! Close. You got the kill on the Zen, but you did it right in front of the Roadhog. Thinking about that, what's a little slightly better like position? You got a bunch of kills.
I should have gone high ground, dropped off.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. That's fine. Good. You recognize that. That's good. You don't need to talk about it much. You got like the EMP was good. The position you did it was good. Your team was ready to follow up. It's just that fact that you did it right in front of a Roadhog who could have hooked you. Whoa, big Chungus.
Yeah.
Wow.
We take those.
Yeah, no, you definitely do take those.
Yeah, your ball's just trolling, apparently. Knock him out of that. Woo-hoo-hoo! Very nice. Man, that beat saved your ass.
Yeah. Got punched and hooked and still lived.
Didn't matter. Should have gone for the hack. It didn't,
I'd really
didn't
like
matter.
to see you be resetting on this high ground up here. Sort of the same thing from the last VOD, like taking really annoying positions and then doing that. Like setting up on the high ground or going behind them here, that would be okay too. Going and looking for an assassin kill on the
This is the first time we've looked for assassin plays out, isn't it?
Yeah, so
I like
this.
this. Like seeing this Hanzo, as soon as that orb goes off, because he will probably swap the orb off that Hanzo, that's when I decloak. Right there is when I decloak.
Oh, I thought he was looking at you.
Yeah, I thought he was hacking for a second. I was like, what?
Okay, that's all right. You got tunnel vision there, right? You have to understand that even if you don't get a kill, it's fine. You're building ult charge, you're pulling attention behind you. You don't have to tunnel vision so hard into that and walk right in the middle of their team. Like, I mean, honestly, you could have even just decloaked right here and started shooting at one of them. Either one, it's fine. I like to shoot for Zens. You could have gone to the stairs there and kind of decloaked behind the stair thingy to your right. Right, like right over here, you could have decloaked right behind that, and then shot at the Hanzo from the left, or shot at the Zenyatta from the right. I'm saying to the Sombra's right. Right.
Oh, you
here,
mean like
yes,
up here?
right there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you could have decloaked kind of right behind that little pillar thing, something like that. Gone for a kill on the Sombra, would have been, or it's not the Sombra, that's the Zenyatta, would be good. And then, like, even if you don't get the kill, just make sure you can back out. You keep everybody out in front of you. What the issue is, if you decloak in the middle of the road and they go one way, you have to turn your back to the other direction, right? And then there's danger behind you, to the left of you, something like that. So if you can kind of keep them out in front of you when you're doing this, then it's a bit safer and easier to comprehend what's going on and not get hooked.
Okay.
Yeah. So like you could have taken the duel, especially if even if you're not taking the duel at the same target as your tracer. Like, you know, the timing would have been perfect to decloak to take that duel on the Zen or the Hanzo. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, I'm so sorry, Deadly. I sneezed all over you. But if you are able to kind of go on the same target as your tracer, then that's fantastic, because, you know, like, either you're going to have to play a little bit more evasive, or the tracer's going to have to play a little bit more evasive, but one of you can just, like, stand still and just track his head. So this is the same sort of thing. Like, when the ball's going in or when the tracer's going in, if it's possible, duel the same thing. It's like, make it a 2v1, make it a very easy kill, and then continuously just, like, turn in, pincer them from behind, and they'll all die. So, you know, you were setting up in a great position, good scouting, good positioning in order to engage in the duel, and then you just didn't take the duel. And then, so just a couple times, it's becoming more of a theme where, you know, you've been cloaking and retreating from duels that you could have stood and fought. You don't always have to be going for these repositionings. Like, when you are in a situation where you can take a duel or you have advantage, you should stay and capitalize and push that advantage.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's that situation Deadly was talking about. It's like, and also it was in the last VOD as well, where you're just putting your back to a potential threat so that you don't know when it is actually threatening you.
Yep. Same with the tracer play.
Yeah, I just didn't know the hog was over there in the first place, which I should have known. Because I saw him go there.
You
Yeah,
did.
no, I like that. I like that EMP. That was good. You kind of have like there's like the obviously the 6-man EMP is good, but then you can utilize the frontline EMP or the backline EMP on the supports. And so this was a time where you sort of just utilized the frontline EMP, and it was really effective. So we like to see I like to see these effective EMPs that aren't like 6-man, because you can still get a lot of value out of it, and it's hard to just get 6-man EMPs all the time. You also used it much quicker, right? If you get 4 EMPs on a defense, don't you think your team has like an advantage of a higher percentage chance of holding than if you only used 3 of them?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So in general, for all ultimate abilities in the game, you want to be looking to find opportunities to use them as fast as possible. Obviously, there's certain situations where you want to hold them for overtime situations, etc. But in general, you want to be looking to build your ult quickly, find an opportunity to use it to win a team fight, and then build another one. So over time, it goes back to what Jayne was saying in the last VOD, small percentage increases. If you've had 10 ults over the entirety of the game, over 9, you've had more small percentage increases in your gameplay to potentially give you a chance to win. So with Sombra, she's definitely one of those characters where you want to be looking for lots of ults.
Good hack.
Yep, there you go. That's definitely how you deal with Doomfist there.
That was quite a good fight for you. I mean, one little micro improvement is just like knowing that your EMP lasts 6 seconds. So I think you hacked a little while somebody was already EMP'd. So if you can do like because you can hack, EMP, hack, and potentially have one person not playing the game for 18 seconds because Sombra is a dick. But yeah, so like you hit the EMP and then you got the hack, and like chaining EMP into hack is good, but you want to maximize that uptime. Like use the full 3 seconds, especially if it's a Reinhardt or a Roadhog. I mean, neither of them are going to be able to interrupt the hack while EMP'd, right? So you got to wait until it's like you are hacking them right as the EMP is about to expire, so you can continue shooting them. But yeah, so if you EMP and then immediately hack, you're wasting like it's more optimal to wait for the 5 seconds before trying to chain the hack instead of doing it immediately.
Okay.
Oh, close. Trying to do a little bit of CS surf, are you? Yep.
You're uncloaking. There's people to your right. I should be very afraid. Okay.
Spooky,
All right.
spooky.
Luckily the ball came, but you definitely. I don't think you were calculating the ball is going to roll in here, and the hog is going to attempt to hook the ball. So I am safe decloaking in front of their entire team.
Yeah, I was going to hack him and then immediately TP out. I had called that he was overextended to my team. But then when the Mercy came, I just thought I'd push up and get some damage.
Yeah, but even then, right, if you stay a little bit back, you don't have to kind of get close. Sombra has a surprisingly far fall-off range, but even if you're a little bit more out of fall-off range, playing in something like this area where you can be shooting her, but also having a little bit of peripherals to know if you're threatened is going to be way better than going here where you are losing kind of any sight of these potential threats in the backline. I'm actually surprised that they were so separate. I thought, like Deadly, that they were a lot closer.
It's just because that ball ran through there. Like, because they were just like going after the ball. They missed a sleep, a flashbang, and a hook. Wait, no, there's the sleep. Okay, my bad. Sorry, Anna. I didn't mean to slander.
Here, don't you love it when you coach somebody on something and then they do it later in the VOD?
Yeah, no, this is a great high ground annoyance. This is good. Look at this. Oh my god.
This is perfect.
Wow, good awareness as well. And you go back to the high ground. Don't fall. Uh-oh.
Oh, unlucky.
That guy did not like you.
But that position was great, right?
Yep.
You got some really high impact hacks. You were shelling in some damage as well. This was a really, really good fight. No, did that get canceled? Oh, I thought it... How did that not get canceled? What the fuck? Alright, you've almost got EMP. She just walked into a mine!
Yeah, I mean, she was kind of dead anyway, but good target focus. I would have liked to see you like reset to like a high ground position or something to the right, and then play from up there. Because if people are on the point, obviously you could play on the point too if you needed to. You guys will win this. Good. That was good.
There we go.
Nice. And micro, I mean, there's small micro things. I think you could have avoided the Doom ultimate, like when he did go onto you, because you did have your translocator, and that's just like playing the character more and understanding that you can dodge those kind of things with a translocator.
Yeah.
But overall, I was happy to see that position, and same as Jayne. So.
How many hours do you have on Sombra?
Probably 300-ish.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes when I don't have translocator down, I'd wait where I know the timing to translocate out would work, but then I just throw it and can't translocate yet, so it ends up taking longer and I die. Because I'm used to always having a translocator down.
Okay, so we're gonna need some Widowmaker, or just a single shot, or
are you gonna stay on Widowmaker?
Not very long now.
Okay.
Okay, good. I cannot avoid the Widowmaker VODs.
More Widowmaker VODs for Deadly. Oh, we got the Observer glitch. Good. All right.
Shot. Okay.
Oh, Reaper now. Oh, it's a flex Vod, is it?
Why do you not playing Sombra anymore? You just like full held on second with Sombra.
Yeah. Everybody on my team was calling for a Reaper to help with.
You're like the
Winston,
third
I
plat
swapped to-
person who's come on here who said that their team demanded a Reaper. What the hell is going on in plat right now?
Because Reaper fixes everything apparently.
Reaper kill tank. Tank bad.
Reaper high
Platinum
DPS.
don't want tank.
Reaper kill tank. We go W into team. Pew pew pew. Tank dead. Win game. Monkey strong. Ape strong together.
All right. Well, don't stop doing what works just because your team said this.
Yeah.
Like if you were losing bad and your team and you want to help, if you lost third or whatever, and you want to displease your team and you don't think you don't know what to do, like you can play what they suggest. But it's like you can take their suggestion, but you don't have to like do it.
Yeah.
You know, I think
Especially if
Jayne
you
made
don't
it-
play Reaper, you're not good at him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, Jayne had an interesting thing where like I think it was in like the coaching hotline, become a member by the way, where they said like how do you deal with your team asking you to switch, and like internally and externally. And internally Jayne said is like I don't feel super great about it, but I will ask my team like why. And then you take into consideration what they said, and if you don't think that's the case, then you just keep playing whatever you think is best. So you just full held on second. I thought you had some really impactful EMPs. I don't think your team can argue that because you had like a 4K, like in one. Just keep playing what you think is good, and if it doesn't work, then you can switch after. But like, there's no reason that you need to be switching now. Just play what you were playing. You're doing a good job. Clearly, you had an effect. And then if it doesn't work, then switch after. But
it is very, very common at low rank for people to misdiagnose who or what is the problem. So people,
100%.
yeah. So people are like, we need a Reaper, and you can ask, be like, why do we want a Reaper? It's like, if they say like, we need higher damage, you can counter with like, no, we just need to focus the squishies. Or if they're like nothing's dying, you can just like counter with like, give them sort of a solution. But anytime somebody's kind of like, we need this or that, especially the lower ranks, it can be an excuse or somebody searching for who they want to flame and blame for the loss. So, you can try and abide by their request to stop them from flaming. Or you can try and turn it into like a productive discussion about how to try and win the game.
do you play Reaper a lot?
Not a ton. I do play.
Another reason to not pick Reaper.
Very true.
I guess I can turn this into sort of a learning moment. I think I was playing my unranked GM, and we get a Bastion one trick on our team. And everyone, he played like 60 hours of Bastion and nothing else. And everyone is like, go Pharah. They were telling this Bastion player to go Pharah. And they're like, we're not going to win if he doesn't go Pharah because it's Legion Gardens. And I said it like this. If they play anything other than Bastion, we will lose.
They're going to be a liability.
They will become a liability. Our best chance at winning the game is them playing the character they are best at. That's it. And they played Bastion, and we adjusted our playstyle, and we won the game. So don't put yourself on characters that are not optimal for you if you don't know how to play it just to please your team. Because your best characters will give you the best chance to win the game, period. That's how it works. That's why one tricks win the game a lot. That's why there's one tricks all over like top 500 and stuff.
I guess question to you then, Deadly, because I always enjoy asking this question, and chat does too. At what
Sure.
rank do you think that composition starts to actually matter, and where is it kind of that? Well, yeah. At what point do you think that composition in ranked actually really starts to matter?
I think counters are viable like at all ranks, right? Like if they have like a tracer and you play Torb and the turret shoots them, that's good. So like countering works. Composition wise, I probably would say where teams are really starting to play together and utilizing the advantages of composition to like, right? Like they like to play brawl, right? They want to play in closed space, or to play dive. They want to force people out into open and dive like backline and stuff like that. I don't think people start really playing compositions properly until maybe master or diamond, or even at least getting the right idea, I would say. Probably. I said I've never really thought about it, so I don't have a super strong opinion.
Cool.
Yeah, cool.
I mean, everybody's got a different opinion. I don't think there's a right answer, right?
Yeah, I don't think there is a right answer.
I asked Guru this question, and he said compositions don't matter until 4,400. And I was like, what the fuck, Guru? You elitist prick, but...
I think I disagree.
I think, yeah. Normally I say, like, high masters is where compositions actually start to matter. And if you're not on a strong composition, there's not a ton you can do individually. But what we're trying to say is that in Platinum, regardless of the composition, if you're playing your hero, you're playing it well, you can probably be the difference maker between a win or a lost game.
Okay.
Compositions only matter in Overwatch League.
May I introduce you to Chengdu?
Chengdu.
Get my revenge.
Okay, and so we're seeing some Reaper play here. I mean, not super exceptional, but you probably just don't have much of an idea what to do. I could tell, like, when you're playing Sombra, you have an idea of what you're trying to do for the most part, which is clearly shows in your experience on the character, a couple hundred hours. It's good. I hear you're looking a little lost.
Okay, so there's a comment in chat that I'm going to take more seriously. Okay, so the comment says, okay, so I should stop pushing my team to work as a team in silver. Hashtag pressing W, hashtag facepalm, hashtag elo hell. Unironically, yes. Yes. You're putting the cart before the horse. There are more fundamental skills that you need to work on. You can win games without your team playing together. Even if you're on Reinhardt, you need to be able to learn how to play the game where your team is not supporting you. Like, yes, it is a team game, but I've talked about this before, but learning how to play as an individual when your team is yeeting themselves off cliffs at the earliest opportunity is just part of the learning process. And unless you know how to play when you are getting absolutely zero support and still be able to win and perform, you're not going to be able to get to the ranks where people actually do start playing together. Learning how to play as an unsupported individual is a mandatory prerequisite to get to the ranks where you play as a team. So yes, if you're trying to force your team to communicate and play together as a team in silver, it's too early. We talk about golds having problems with awareness, problems with individual awareness, let alone macro and strategic awareness. If you're in silver, focus on tactics, focus on performing as best as you can individually, and if you get team play and communication, treat that as a luxury, but you do need to focus on yourself. So yes, it is too early to rely, and if you are relying on team play and coordination and communication in silver to climb, you are going to be disappointed. It doesn't happen there, and when it does happen, it doesn't happen well, and it's outside of your control. So keep working on the things that you have control of. Oh, there's my little rant. Back to you, Deadly.
I like that. No, that was good. I like that.
Whoa!
Oh, a little cutting it close there. All right, didn't die.
Yeah, you're not familiar with Reaper very much.
Yeah.
That's not an insult. We're not trying to rag on you, right? But
Yeah.
yeah.
Fine.
It's just, I mean, it's just clear, right? Like, you're trying to duel the McCree at mid-range. Now you're doing what you should be doing, and shooting the monkey, which is, I assume, why they wanted you to play Reaper. They're like, other team has monkey, Reaper beats monkey, rock beats scissors.
Oh, you're gonna do it! You're gonna do it!
Did you not get flash name?
Yes!
Okay, aw.
Yes! The classic, he's wraithing into us. He couldn't possibly be looking to press Q. I love it.
So let's make this as a learning moment, Larkin, right? On the Reaper. If you see a Reaper wraithing into you, what are his options when the wraith is over?
Shoot.
Shoot or ultimate?
Or alt, yeah.
Generally, if they're going to wraith into you, they're expecting, like, they want to win, so they're probably going to use the ultimate. So, like, you can see how obvious that looks now when you think about that. There's literally no escape for you other than to kill everyone. And so, it is extremely...
It's a telegraphed play.
Yeah. Probably one of the most telegraphed plays you can do.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah.
The only other, like...
If I see a Reaper doing that on Sombra, I'll go ahead and hold hack for when
Yeah,
it comes out.
right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like one of those things where, you know, there's a lot of other classic ones, like the Diva just boosting at a 45-degree angle. It's like, I wonder what she's about to do. Or the Zarya, who is walking forward while reloading and self-bubbling. Right? It's like, wonder what you're about to do. So it's a higher level skill. I don't think that you have to try and start masking... Like you don't really have to care about telegraphing other than the very obvious ones.
For sure.
But yeah. So
That's
telegraphing is a
example.
higher level concept. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another example of the inexperience on Reaper. Right, and why you should just be playing what you're comfortable on here in this situation. And so you played what your team wanted and you lost. I'd rather my team be angry at me and me winning than playing what they wanted and losing.
I mean, even if we won even if we lost and my team was angry at me, if I improved on the heroes that I care about during that, that's still like a win to me, sort of thing. But if I swapped, we lost, my team was angry, and I was wasting my time on a hero that I don't give a shit about, that's just what a waste of a game entirely. But
Good thought process. Yep, 100%. You want to be, I mean, you have the characters that you want to improve, and you should be trying to play those as often as possible. So.
All right, Duskman. Well, I mean, we gotta come up with some sort of like standard way to finish off these VODs because we pretty much just wing the conclusion of these VODs every single time. But yeah, Duskman, do you mind kind of summarizing for us, kind of like one, two, or three things that you got out of this that you're going to take into your gameplay?
Yeah, focus on positioning a little better, make sure I get high ground and everything like that. Changing play styles depending on what the other team is playing, and what my team is playing. Not getting peer pressured into swapping to something you're not great at.
It's peer pressure, I
peer
guess.
Pressure.
And tunnel visioning I need to work on.
Yeah. And if I was to add one more, probably one of the main themes, that Deadly was talking about is utilizing those high grounds, right? There was a lot of time that you were going just center, so starting on the high ground and resetting to the high ground, and then the selection of playstyles that's going to be, if you start with your normal playstyle of like farming or trying to counter the ball and it's not working, instead of trying to beat your head against a wall or a dead horse or anything like that, try and look for a different way of playing, like the assassin playstyle as well. But yeah, see, Deadly, coaching a Platinum Sombra wasn't that bad.
No, it was good. I actually liked it. I was honestly impressed by some of the play too, so that was cool. Hope that you continue and don't give in to the peer pressure and play the stuff that you are good at and enjoy.
All right, thank you.
Awesome, Dustman. Well, I appreciate you being available to do a VOD on such short notice and replacing the guy who rescheduled. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the VOD. Let us know how the climb goes, and wish you luck on the climb up to Diamond and Masters.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, cheers.
For sure.
Cheers.